The following is said to be a true story that happened in the East End of London in the 1960s. And apparently there was a very elderly gentleman that had let himself go a little bit, and he lived in one of these really dingy Victorian properties in the most depressing part of London's East End. And it was the type of property where it's very dull and dark most of the day. And this particular character had very bad manners. He would remove his false teeth and lick them, and he had very bad dental hygiene. So he had, pickled tooth and very bad breath, and a little bit pongy as well. Anyway, a social worker used to go in once a week to visit him, and he said, "Excuse me," to the social worker. They got chatting. They got quite friendly. He said, "Would you like these Brazil nuts?" He said, "My daughter sends them to me, and I don't like Brazil nuts very much." So the social worker, who loved Brazil nuts, said, "Oh, yes, please." And she liked them so much, she sort of ate the whole packet, while she was there, you see, in this dingy house. But anyway, every week she would go in there, and he would give her these Brazil nuts. And one day she arrived. There was a different schedule, and she had to arrive a day early. And when she got there, the postman had just come and delivered these Brazil nuts from his daughter. So she brought them into this old gent, and she said, "Is your daughter's Brazil nuts here?" "Oh, lovely, I like them." But she said, "Hang on a moment, you told me you don't like them." He said, "No," he said, "I like these are chocolate. They're chocolate covered ones." He said, "And what I do," he said, "I love the chocolate, so I lick the chocolate off, and then I give the nuts to you." And that is supposed to be a true story. So, and I think there's an element of truth in it. So I'll put everybody off their tea now. Sorry about that. And tonight we've got ladies first. We've got Vixen in the studio. Good evening, Vixen.
Hello. Hello, good evening to you.
And we've got His Royal Hanorak. That is our, what was it? You're our transport, Fockham Hall Transport Minister, aren't you?
I am indeed. Good evening, all. Good evening, Vixen. Good evening, Chris.
And also, Vixen, we've got to have a Ponzi title for you, Vixen. So, got any Ponzi titles you want to make?
No, I don't do Ponzi. No, I don't do Ponzi.
For Fockham. No, but in Fockham, you see, we've all got Ponzi titles. Go on, be a bit Ponzi.
Why don't you can think one up for me.
Oh, all right then.
What's your speciality?
What's my what, sorry?
What's your speciality?
Oh, I don't know if I got one of those.
Health correspondent. I think health correspondent would be the one.
Yeah, okay, go on then. Health correspondent.
Senior health correspondent. I know, a Fockham Hall health secretary. You could be like Chris Whiffy. Sorry, yeah, you'd be like Chris Whiffy, can't you? But not quite. But anyway, they're lining up in chat. They're all a bit late tonight, and now we've got good news and bad news. So the bad news is Steve, who's due to be on and reading sort of different people's horoscopes and whatever. He's driving back from Scotland, and he's our secret agent. So he lives in a secret address of 53 Acorn Avenue. And he's driving back, as I say, and he'll be with us about half an hour late. So he'll be on a little bit later. And first of all, I'd like to thank Patrick. And Patrick, we're linked up now with radiowindmiller.com. There's a link below, and that's his station. So we're broadcasting to sunny Wisconsin, and where it's the afternoon there. So good afternoon, Wisconsin. And also Soapbox Radio. So we're broadcasting there, which is in Blighty. So there we go. Thank you very much. And I say thanks for the hard work you've done. You've been linking things through and all things like that, and your help last night. Thanks, Patrick. Now, tonight we've got in chat Sue Sparkle. Hello, everyone. Hope you are all well. And, of course, the first one on, which was at 7:59, which is quite keen, can get a free raspberry and 2-finger salute at a politician of their choice. So there we go. So if you'd like to think one up, Sue Sparkle, you're more than welcome. And we'll give I'll give a two-finger salute to a politician of your choice. We've got Marlene. Hello, Marlene. Hi, everyone. And then we've got Mark Anthony. And good evening, all. And we've got Hatchy. And he says, Brazil nuts are nice coated with chocolate. Laugh out loud. Yes. Well, this lady had them minus the chocolate. I actually do think that's true. I really do. What do you think, Vixen or His Royal Hanorach? What do you think it's a true story? I do.
Would they not be really soggy?
Well, remember it's a dingy Victorian house, and they were the day before, so they would have dried out in the afternoon by the time she got there.
Have them pegged out on the washing line outside and let them dry in the sun.
That's right. Right. We've got some marvellous people in chat. We've got, what is it? Asperger's Smudge. Hello. It's very dignified here, you know. And then we've got good evening here from Morayshire. That's in Scotland, isn't it? That's in a foreign country. That's life as we don't know it. And now, Sue Sparkle says, Mr. KS, please. Certainly Keir Starmer, or is that Kentucky Fried Sausages? No, I think it's Keir Starmer. So, all together now is so Keir Starmer, that's it. And a German American version, like that, you see. And now, what's it? I've got a packet of walnuts. Have you really? We won't go into that. And some chocolate on my. Oh my God! Oh.
Question to Hatchy is: have they all got chocolate on? Because some may have already been tested.
That's right. Anyway, are we all ready to go to Ukraine? That's what Mr. Starmer wants to do, and yes, I mean. As I say, now you're a medical person, Vixen. Do you think that, in your honest opinion, do you think Keir Starmer's had a brain transplant that's rejected him? Because he looks like it, doesn't he? I mean, it's the sewing at the back of his head, sort of. Oh, hang on, we got Stig. Morning, Stig. He's in New Zealand. Morning. I try and do a New Zealand accent, but it's a bit sort of Australian, isn't it? So anyway, he was just saying, do you think Keir Starmer's had a brain transplant? Sorry?
Is he from Wales?
No, it's from New Zealand.
Oh, was that what the accent was? Was it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It was very lifelike.
Did you see that lot in New Zealand doing the haka? There's all these the haka with an H, not an F, and you see all these what do you call it? GBH, whatever it call it, rainbow people all standing there. There's all these youths, the police are in between, all doing and all this stuff. It's on my Telegram channel. It's hysterical. It really is. What's this? No to Ukraine. Yes. What is it about cranes you don't like? I mean, is it? But no. Anyway. On with the show. So until Steve comes along, we're going to talk about a subject of your choice. Now, we've called it a Crapology tonight, and I've usually found unusual titles draw more people in, you see. Now, with Crapology, that is a study of crap that politicians come out with. And I've noticed they've come out. If you look at old films of the old 1930s, of them standing out, they always hold their collar, their lapel like this, and it's always the same. This is the change that we need, and it's always change they want. And I told the Prime Minister that, as if they are the leading authority in it. But have you noticed that politicians, they form a government, okay, and they have people that don't have the foggiest idea heading departments? Have you noticed that?
Well, that's like the real world, isn't it? That's the real world altogether, because even we know that these days a lot of things are built via an accountant, So I'll give you an example. Our local bus station in Telford here, we had the old one, was indoors, nice and cozy as cozy as a bus station can get, but there was no issue with the elements around it. And then some accountant decided they wanted to use that bus station for shops and produce a new bus station made of Meccano alongside the old one. But they didn't put some windows in. So now every time we get to November, December time and it's a bit misty, the window's mist up so you can't see what bus you're getting on. Things like that. Brilliant idea.
Well, I tell you what, the bus station, where the main terminal which the buses go into, I mean, I really do detest public transport. I'm sorry about this, His Royal Hanorach, but I'm not a public transport enthusiast. So I've upset you now. You claim damages from me, you see. And
Okay.
what happened is they got this big bus terminal and a place where people can sit in. Don't tell anybody, just us. It's Waltham Cross, actually. But I won't, And I needed to spend a penny, you see, and I needed to go to the loo. And they got, big sign up, toilets, you see. So you follow the sign. When you get there, doesn't say it's for busmen only. They've got a combination lock to get in, so you can't use them. You have to go somewhere else. I mean, what a ridiculous idea. Why have they got signs up telling you where the toilets are, but you can't use them?
Have you considered maybe the combination be something like 2 and P?
For
you to P.
For you to. Well, actually, I was thinking of sitting outside and see what combination they use, but it's ridiculous, isn't it? But no, actually, what we were going to before, what we were talking about is, now you're very much into numbers, aren't you? Now, was it geometria?
Gematria, yes.
Geometry.
Yes.
Can you do this for actual people? Can you tell people's future by gematria, like their birth dates and things like that, or addresses and things?
No, not really. I mean, if somebody stepped out in front of a number 2 bus and got hit, I could tell them they're going to get hit by a bus. But
yes.
no, I can't predict the future. No, nothing like that. Mine tends to be covering the news and things like that.
Is there anything coming up that we should be worried? Well, we should always be worried. That's part thing. But I mean, is there something coming along?
There's certain dates coming along. We've got the 22nd of February coming up, which is a 222, 225. So that's one that could be one to look at. Order out of chaos is 222, as we know. So yes. I could see potentially that day being quite important. And we've also got the 23rd of February, which would be a 223, which links to Skull and Bones. Again, a lot of things happen with that number, as we know.
Yes.
And then we've got the 22nd of March, which is also 223 or 322, whichever way you want to look at it. Yeah, 22nd of February, I think, could be the next major event, although there's been a lot of plane crashes in recent times, and a lot of those have been linked to the Super Bowl, of all things, because the Super Bowl is seen as very satanic in their world. And one of the examples on that was the plane and the helicopter that crashed in Washington. And the pilot's name on the helicopter equaled 1831 in one of the ciphers. And it was 1,831 days after Kobe Bryant, who was a well-known basketball player, died. And he also died in a helicopter. Helicopters are very common ways for them to die. 666, helicopter equals 666. The amount of celebrities that die in helicopters is unbelievable. I've also got a friend at work who he follows wrestling, professional wrestling, and I had a quick search on how many just having a look through wrestlers who've died, and the amount of wrestlers who die at the same age, 33, 35, 55, and 80, was unbelievable. Unbelievable how many die at the same age, there or thereabouts.
Well, it's like what we were talking about last night. Dr. Joel Wallach, who's very, very good. He's, I suppose you could call him a naturopath. He's a qualified vet, and then he decided to go into natural medicine, and he's getting on a bit now. And he's found that the average age that a quack dies is 58. Shortest life of most people, of all the professions. They have one of the shortest lives. I think it's even less than coal miners. 58. That
Well,
makes you think, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that is young. Yeah.
Yeah. But we got Hatchies said, what's it now? I've got some poo bags, I'm sure, buds. Don't mind lending a few out. And this is Stig from New Zealand, says, you pay to go to the loo? That's taking the piss. Sorry. It is.
Well, my toilet does that. That's always,
Yes.
it's always taking the piss out of me.
No, actually, no, you don't have to pay there. It's just that you can't get in. It's only for bus drivers, but there's no sign up saying it's for bus drivers only. You just, you walk round there. Think, I need to use it. We got the Barefoot Forager. Hey, hello. The mystery schools put a lot of stock by your 5 numerology birth numbers, making up your divine blueprint and life mission. Mine is very accurate. Well, if you would like to come on air, Barefoot Forager, if you go onto my Telegram channel, there's a link to the studio. So you're welcome on air. So there's the gauntlet, You'll be most welcome tonight. Please join us, yes. You were doing extremely well last night, and until something happened, the show went tits up and I got booted out the studio. We won't go into that. Now, Steve says, most quacks, I won't mention that, take their own what's-its, I won't read that one out because we're on YouTube, that won't help their life expectancy. 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you there. Yes, you're right.
I suppose at least they practice what they preach in that respect, but none of it's for their.
Sometimes they put under but sometimes they put under pressure, aren't they, to take the vaccines that they don't actually want to take. I've spoken to a doctor myself who didn't want to. I didn't say it.
We're talking about vacuum flasks, aren't we? Vacuum
that's
flasks.
Exactly
yes,
it.
Vacuum
and
flasks.
magazines.
Yes. But I make a slip occasionally. I think they're all right with a slip, but if we just start, it just got to be a bit careful because it's YouTube.
Yeah.
This is what I like about. Sorry about that, but this is what I like about Rumble. You can say naughty words and get away with it.
Yeah.
Trouble is, the software's just crap. That's the only difference. But what the thing is that we're saying last night, for example, dandelions are brilliant because everybody knows what a dandelion looks like. You can't really poison yourself by eating a dandelion, and you can eat it any time of the year. And the roots, as I was saying, I think I was just about cut off before I was saying this. You can make coffee from the actual dandelion roots. You dry them out and you can powder them, and it's called in America Confederate coffee because it was the Confederate Army, who were the poor ones, who made their own coffee from dandelion roots. But I'm going to be making some sauerkraut soon, and that's really easy. Have you ever made any, Vixen, or sauerkraut?
No, my mum used to make it though.
Really?
Yeah. It was very, very nice.
Would you like some?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say no to that.
Well, it won't be until another 2 weeks because it takes 2 weeks to ferment. But I've been reading up about it, and apparently it changes colour from green to white. And when it goes white,
Yes,
you know that it's
okay.
Yeah,
it is white. Yeah, by the time you eat it. Yeah.
And if it goes from white to green, then it's time to chuck it out. But no,
I'd agree with that one. Yeah.
Right. Now we got here. Barefoot Forager says, driving home from work through dodgy countryside signal. Sorry, I'm enjoying listening to funnier, wiser voices than mine. Don't have a poor opinion of yourself. You're doing absolutely brilliantly last night. But
your knowledge of foraging stuff is brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it really was. Now, what's this? Nothing like a hot flush on the toilet. Oops, my mistake. It was me. Sorry. It's got here. How are they naughty words? Well, they're naughty words to do with things like that because I've been I've had, I think it's 10 of my videos taken down by YouTube, and I've been banned 5 times. But Richard Voles has been 4 times, so I want more than him. Yeah.
The only person I know who's had more is I remember I promoted Joseph Aquaviva when I was last on. He's on channel number 12 or 13 now. He does gematria and decodes, and he's getting his videos taken down all the time. So he must be hitting the nail on the head.
That's right. We're getting close. I feel terrible saying to people, "Oh, be careful saying this. Be careful saying that." I actually feel a bit like a dictator saying that. I just don't like it. It's horrible because people should be free to say whatever they want. This is the thing.
Well, it's not your fault, is it?
No, it's But I say I've slipped up occasionally, said a few, but luckily so far so good. And Hachi has said the Germans in World War II had dandelion coffee in their ration packs.
Dandelion's really good for you. I've got
diuretic.
I've got a selection of teas over on my counter over there, which am I allowed to say HEMP? Hemp?
Yeah, why not?
That's right.
HEMP, yes.
Hemp. What else have I got over there? Dandelion is amongst them. I've got others. I can't think what they are. I've forgotten. I know there's nettle amongst them, and they do the world of good. They help detox your body, and they're brilliant. Really good, really good. These are the things that the doctors don't promote.
I agree with you. And
if they did, the NHS would be empty. The hospitals would be empty. There'd be nobody in them. Because
that's right.
It's when you go down to the doctors and you say, "Well, I'm a bit under the weather today." They never say to you, "Well, so what have you eaten today?" "Well, I've had 15 burgers this morning before I came out." Well, you might want to cut them down and try getting some vitamin C and vitamin D. I'd have those. Try those. And it's like when you go into hospital, they're very, I don't know how to describe them. I suppose clinical is the right word, but they're just white buildings, aren't they? Inside,
I agree with you.
There's nothing positive about them, is there? It's.
Well, they're designed like that. And this is what I was saying last night. I mean, the architecture is deplorable. They should be pleasant places, calm places where people could.
Bit of healing music going around, and none of this crappy processed junk. Is probably the best word I can use.
I agree with you.
That they provide beans and potatoes and bring around some veggies and fruit and stuff that will help people heal and get better rather than processed stuff that's full of crap. I mean, it's horrible.
Well, as I said, a pharmacy spelt with an F, not a P. Yes. FARM. But actually, now we know how the Germans lost World War II. We've cracked it. You see, they had dandelion coffee, which is a diuretic. So, if you can't get into this battle, you need to go to the VVs. And they had to go for a slash every 5 minutes because they drink a lot of coffee. That's why they lost. It's the dandelion coffee. We've cracked it at last. That's
we sprayed Germany with weed killer.
Weed killer, yeah. Now, Barefoot Forager said, if you combine dandelion roots with sticky weed seeds. No. Oh, I know sticky weed. Yeah, sticky weed seeds in coffee family. They have some caffeine and nice taste. Supercharge your kidneys, detox your lymph system, and fluoride free, unlike coffee.
Wow.
Hang on, fluoride free. Are you talking about instant coffee? Is that got fluoride in it? And something I noticed today, because I can't get any raw milk, because the place where I get the raw milk, they've had to close it because they've had a ministry inspection and it's come up with something nasty. I don't know what. It's on their website. So they can't give any raw milk out because it has to be continuously inspected. And I feel sorry for them because they're scrupulously clean. And I've gone on to this oat coffee, and I've got this stuff which you pour it into a vessel and add water, and you can make up about half a litre of oatmeal at a time. And I found out what the top ingredient next to oat is. Rapeseed, which is tractor oil. And it's not good for you. It's really bad for you. I looked at it, I thought, oh my God. So I'm going to use that up. I'm not going to use it anymore because when that gets in your system, it takes about 18 months to get out of your system. It's not good for you at all.
We have to think about that with things like McDonald's, where their lorries go around saying that they use their vegetable oil to power their trucks. If you really want something that's been cooked in that, in fact, the food probably goes into it after it's come out of the truck.
Precisely, yeah. It's the smell of McDonald's and things like that. But because I know that I know you people. I think Miles drinks oat milk, doesn't he? But he drinks the really posh stuff. But the one I've got, I won't mention it on air, the name of the stuff. But you mix it, you pour this sort of stuff from a little container into a large vessel, about 500 milligrams. Add water and shake it all up and that. But rapeseed oil, that's top of the list of the bad ones.
Yeah.
Along with sunflower, no, not good. And I don't really like oat milk, but the trouble is I can't drink tea or coffee without milk in it. I don't really like it without milk. What are you, Vixen? Are you a milk person? Do you put milk in your coffee and tea? Or
I think I do it more out of habit, really, because I'm quite happy to drink my coffee black. But I think like I say, I think it's more out of habit that I end up having something to make my tea or coffee a certain colour. But tea, I don't drink my tea black, but I'm quite happy to drink coffee black. I do the freshly brewed coffee, so I do like a nice coffee. But with tea, I'm take it or leave it with tea. But if I do have it, it's got to be white. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I like a nice drop of milk in it, and of course I drink rooibos tea, which is very, very good for you.
That is a nice tea. I like rooibos.
Rooibos is all, but now, better not say it. I'll tell you what. See, there's the one I don't like. Yeah, all right, I might as well mention it. Littles are very good for everything, but I found that it's a bit of a fruity taste. If you get Littles, I actually get
they're rooibos.
Their rooibos is very, very good, but
really?
my personal taste is a little bit too fruity for my liking. Because they can get it all different places, I believe. In South Africa, it comes from. But now we got here in Steve says, here we go. Fatty red meat and eggs will keep you healthy.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I agree, 100% agree. Yes, and we got here stinging. This is Hachi. Stinging nettle flowers dried make a good brew. Yes, I've tried that.
Good for asthma.
Yes, that's right. Steve said raw milk producers will be put out of business. Yes, they will be. It's policy hidden, but it's policy. Yes, and Barefoot Forager has come back regarding that tea. And he said Indian tea and coffee both naturally take up fluoride from the soil. Now, if it's natural fluoride, I don't know. I'm talking out the back of my head now, but I would have thought that natural fluoride is okay. It's the unnatural fluoride, which is a residue from the aluminium industry, I believe. So, if anybody knows any more about that.
I didn't know there was a natural fluoride version, to be honest. I thought it was just all one toxin.
No, I think that you got natural fluoride.
All minerals are going to have, in the same way that you'd have, let's say, an iron supplement. If you buy it from a pharmacy, it won't be it won't be food sourced iron, which is why a lot of people get irritable bowels and nausea and so on when they're having an iron supplement from their GP versus a naturally sourced iron, which will be from fruits and vegetables. Which the body will tolerate because it's there's different sources for everything. I don't know enough about fluoride though. I'm afraid I don't know enough about that one.
Well, I do know I believe there's two types, and if someone wants to prove me wrong, I don't mind. But what I read up, and it was a doctor had written it up. There is two types. There's the natural fluoride, which occurs in water naturally and in the soil, and there's the chemical fluoride, which comes from the aluminium industry, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they put it in a water supply.
Yeah. I've heard this. I have heard this. Like you say, I don't know how reliable the source is, but yeah, I've heard that myself as well. Yeah.
That's the thing. Thanks. And the other thing is that along with sauerkraut, I'm thinking of making this yogurt, which I mentioned it to Miles the other day, and he sort of raised an eyebrow and sort of lowered an eyebrow. And but I don't think he's really much into yogurts. But it's called L something or other, and I've made a note of it, and it's not in this book, but it's Dr. Beck. He talks about it, L something or other, and it's something that your gut needs, and 98% of us, L reuteri, I think it is, haven't got. But if you go to the Amazon jungle or to remote tribes, they've got it, but we've lost it through anti-dooflops, and I won't mention the full word, but I think you know what I'm talking about for obvious reasons. And we've lost it because of that. And you can get it back by making this special yogurt called L reuteri. And of course, for that you need raw milk, so and a yogurt maker. So that's something I'm going to actually make. But the trouble is, the high quality L reuteri costs £50 for a little tiny shot of it from America, but you can get it for £7 off of eBay in this country, but it's only half the strength. Well, my thought is, does it really matter if it's half the strength? Surely if it's going to multiply, and that it doesn't matter, does it? I don't know.
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
No, I don't know. Now it says Hachi says, if you find a chicken on a cow's back, the farm's got a problem on the way. Yes, I should think they would have. Yes. And Joy Warren, the fluoride expert, says Indian tea is toxic. Where does our tea come from? I don't know. I know rooibos comes from South Africa. I think it's only grown in South Africa. I don't think it grows anywhere else.
Isn't it to do with the East? I know it's East India. Is it East India Tea Company or something like that?
Yeah.
They used to trade, centuries ago, or if I assume we've been around that long. Did it come from India that way?
Well, yes, I thought, but China was the main place, I believe, that the tea came from. But I always thought India was the place, Ceylon mainly, wasn't it? Ceylon was the sort of the main place where tea was grown. Because I remember at school, did you see those films? They used to put films on from Brook Bond's Tea, showing you all the tea pickers in Ceylon, So that's interesting. And the other thing is rice. Did you know that if you buy, I think it's American and European rice, it's got very high amounts of, what's that stuff that the Victorians used to put in their wallpaper? Arsenic. It's got high amounts of arsenic on, and if you do any rice at all, it's best to soak it overnight so the arsenic comes out and you pour it away in the morning. But Chinese or rice from the East, it's less of a problem. It's still got it in, but it's not so little. It's not that much to worry about. Have you heard that, Vixen, about rice?
I didn't know about the arsenic in rice, but then again, we're talking about the source again, aren't we? In the same way that cherry stones and apricot kernels are high in cyanide.
B17. Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily harmful if it's done in the right way. So
yes.
if you're going to just load yourself up on a whole load of apricot kernels, you could do yourself some mischief. But I don't think it's going to be the same as I don't really know enough about
Well, I know that they have
on that one, I'm afraid.
Well, apparently there's an apricot festival, I think it's in Poland, which they have nothing but apricots, and they cook them in all different ways. And I think at least about 3 or 4 people become very, very sick. They need ambulances to take them away from having these apricots. But it's like everything else, if you like cream scones, if you have too many cream scones, that'll kill you. And I heard the story about a chap.
I should be dead then.
Yeah. Well, do you hear about that chap? It's quite famous. He had fish and chips every day, or egg and chips. That was it. Every day of his life, egg and chips. And he collapsed one day, and when he's taken to hospital, he was suffering from malnutrition because his body was not getting any nutrients. It's just egg and chips every day.
Yeah.
Well,
he had that 3 times a day, egg and chips.
Yeah. Never got fed up with it. As a woman, isn't there? In the West Country, only eats sweets, and she reckons she's getting all the nutrients she wants from sweets, and very bad teeth, I would have thought. as well. But Barefoot Foragers come back and said, Joy. Oh, sorry, I've already read that. I'm terribly sorry. Fluoride, this is Steve, says, fluoride in tea is 3 parts per million. In toothpaste, it's 1,500 parts per million. Interesting.
I use a brand called Kingfisher.
I
They
know.
do charcoal. I've got the charcoal and they're fluoride free. But when it's quite when you brush your teeth initially, because they all look black, like
I
a
know.
pirate.
Well, I took my toothpaste back because it was fluoride free. And I said, look, I want some free fluoride. I didn't get any in it. So can I have my free fluoride, please? It's in a packet. And we got Barefoot Forager says, we used to have natural Ivan chai. That's it. A cup of chai, wasn't it? Cup of char, which we can forage ourselves and fixes almost everything when they switched us all over to Indian tea. I didn't know that. So we have a natural Ivan. I should think that's char, isn't that? That's CHAI.
Chai.
Chai. Because I know in India they have a cup of char. That's where it comes from. I'll have a cup of char, which I believe in. I think in Hindi, if anybody can speak Hindi, I think that means tea. Or it might mean F off. I don't know.
I won't test that theory if that's all right.
Now, brush your teeth with organic sea salt. It's the only way to go. Yes, and I tell you, I bought in your shop the other day. Celtic sea salt. Oh, it's bloody fantastic, Vixen.
I'll cook with that.
And do you know something? You get the sort of sea salt that you buy from the pound shop or somewhere, and you think nothing. But I know salt's bad for you, but Celtic sea salt is brilliant.
Now, why would you say that salt's bad for you? It's table salt that's no good for you.
Yeah, I was going to say table salt is, but Celtic sea salt no, most certainly isn't. It's good for our bodies.
Although there's the other side that says that it's sodium, which is bad for your joints.
It's right. So if you're having table salt, it's sodium chloride. So it's NaCl. If you look at the chemical formula, it's NaCl, and that's all there is in there. And so you're not really going to get a very useful salt, and then you will get an imbalance because you're having sodium and no potassium. Sodium and potassium balance each other off. So that's why if you get a naturally occurring salt, it's actually quite beneficial. Yeah.
Excellent. You've put me right. Thank you. This is what seriously, this is what the show's about. It's not anybody saying I'm wrong or anything. We learn from our mistakes. I didn't know, so I've learned something.
We all learn by talking.
Well, I do casseroles here, beef and chicken casseroles, and I sometimes I put mixtures of turmeric and cayenne pepper and different spice in it. And other nights I'll just put in a load of sea salt and then sprinkle it with some Celtic salt. And I'll tell you what, it's the most amazing meal you can have. It's
I know.
Celtic salt is really good for your health. Really good.
And with rice, what I do, I have Celtic salt and then put a splash of apple cider vinegar in there. And the Chinese put a little bit of lard in there. Sorry for that, for vegetarians. And the taste of that rice is absolutely on another level. And the other one I learned is when you do scrambled egg, I do this now. I actually put a little bit of cornstarch in there, just a very touch of cornstarch, and then turmeric, and sometimes some cayenne pepper. And it looks like Technicolor, but it gives it a lift. And do you know what I bought from the local farm on Sunday, because they're open on Sundays? Duck eggs. Have you ever had duck eggs?
Yeah, I like a duck egg.
Very expensive.
I didn't notice that.
I've had them on Queen crackers. Sorry.
But duck eggs, they do have a similar effect as cabbage, don't they? And Guinness. If you drink cabbage, Guinness, and duck eggs, I think NASA will be in touch with you, because they're looking for a new rocket fuel. So, but
You can play Land of Hope and Glory to yourself.
That's right. I'm a big stink around the area now, you know. But no, it's good. It is, and there's £6 for half a dozen, where it's normally £1.65 for half a dozen organic eggs. So you pay a bit more. But I thought, well, I've never had them before. They're about twice the size of a chicken egg. Well, no, sorry, about 2/3 bigger. They're quite big, aren't they? But I couldn't
Yeah.
find any difference in the taste. I just thought there's.
I didn't particularly notice a difference in the taste, but but I quite like the fact that the ratio of egg yolk to egg white is very different, and
Yes.
that's 'cause I quite like the yolk. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Does
now.
it increase? Does it increase your bill though?
Oh, yeah.
You're a bit slow on that one there, Chris.
Oh, I like that one. But Barefoot Forager has come back and said apricot kernels for something I can't really mention on YouTube.
Absolutely,
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
Yeah.
And I tell you what I do, which sounds disgusting. I have a lot of lemons. I actually chew and swallow the pips. I eat them.
Oh yeah. They're very good. Antifungal. Yeah.
And I did hear yesterday that anything to do with apples, like apple cider vinegar or apples themselves, providing they're organic, of course, we're like a battery apparently. And if we walk around barefooted, we've got a plus one side and a minus the other. Seriously, I'm not joking. One of our feet is a positive and the other one's a negative. And there's a chap talking, a really old boy, and he said that an apple a day, he said he doesn't know why, but it is true, it keeps the doctor away. He said it is something in the apples which humans need. Do you know any more about that? I mean, you know.
Well, I think we're going back to the age-old thing again about the quality of the apples. I would imagine that even you get a basic bog standard apple, I think you're doing all right. But then you've got to consider the chemicals that have been introduced in when they're growing them for market versus the ones that have been growing out in someone's back garden.
I
I
agree
think they're
with
always
you.
going to be better.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
I grow my own, but the trouble is it's off of a miniature apple tree, and I only get about 4, if I'm lucky, apples. They're
Oh,
delicious,
they're
but I only
lovely.
get
They are,
4, you know.
yeah. They're so nice.
But somebody told me that there's apple trees down the Lee Valley.
Oh, is there really?
Yep. I was actually I was doing some blackberrying, and I managed to bomb Obama over the head and bury him. No, I'm only joking. But no, seriously, I was doing some blackberrying, and a fellow I got talking to a chap, and he says his wife knows a place down the Lee Valley where you can quite legally pick up, and there's nothing illegal about it, you can quite legally pick up apple trees. Now, I don't know whether they're crab apples or what, but she made a lot of apple pies and things with them.
Nice,
But
very
where
nice.
in the Lee Valley? I mean, it's a huge area.
It is very big. Yeah, it is
I
very
just
big.
don't
It's
know.
true.
But
Yeah.
so if anybody know, hang on, better keep it to ourselves. Anybody knows? Let me know, please. I'd like to know what area it is so they can have the apples.
But certainly, apples have changed over the years, though, because I mean, obviously, if you go into the supermarkets, well, and the local farm shop, actually, things like Royal Gala, them to me are a new type of apple. Whereas years gone by, you'd have had like your Brayburns, you've had your Granny Smith, you'd have had the one I do like in the autumn is the what they call the green matty skin on them. I can't remember what they're called.
Can't help you there. I don't know. I don't know much about apples.
Whatever they are. Yeah.
What, a cooking apple? No, not
No,
cooking
it
apple.
was they were like.
Is it what the coxes? The coxes are a little bit red though, aren't they? So it's not those ones.
Yeah, let's have a look at a second. Talk among yourself. I'll have a quick search on Google.
my granddad, he unfortunately on my
Russet
father's
apples.
side, russets. Oh, the
Russets.
old-fashioned russets.
Yeah,
they're
them.
years old. Because my granddad was a greengrocer. He died on my father's side 2 years before I was born, and he could actually just smell an apple and tell you exactly what it was. You know, he didn't even have to taste it. He could tell it by the smell, and he'd pick up. Oh, that's such and such an apple. You know that you've been in it for so long. But apparently, apples used to be you had to cook them. You couldn't eat them raw in the medieval times, and we've just bred them to be nice and sweet. And the fruit that we have today is all artificial. It's all been bred to be better. And I know that in King Henry VIII's time, they had to cook the apples. You simply would not pick them off a tree. They'd bring your backside up to your elbows. It was so sort of tall.
But wasn't that the case also with things like carrots should be purple and peas,
right.
I believe, should also be purple. They're not green. They're not supposed to be green.
That's right.
They're supposed to be. They've been changed to whatever we get now.
I think carrots are black actually in the Roman times, and they cross-pollinated it with what's that French plant? There's a plant, French marigolds. They cross-pollinate it with marigolds to get the actual orange colour, to make it more sort of. But most of the fruit we have, and this is the trouble. People think they're healthy getting fruit, but it gives you an enormous glucose rush. Do you know any more about that, Vic? Some of the old, I mean, I do not have fruit juices anymore. I used to, but I don't eat them anymore.
That's the difference. Is eating of the fruit whole versus eating it as a juice. So you're taking what was a slow release sugar and turning it into a quick release sugar. So you're much better off having it, biting it and chewing it and swallowing it, and rather than turning it into a liquid.
Fibre. It's the fibre,
everything, because when you chewing versus the blades on a blender, for example, or a juicer, it just doesn't treat the fruit in the same way that your teeth would. So you're much better off eating it and chewing it slowly. Doing it that way, it's a much healthier way of consuming food. Yeah,
it's a bit like bananas. They were huge pips in them, and there was very little flesh so you couldn't really eat very much of them. Until they bred they got the Cavendish, wasn't it? That was the Cavendish banana. I'm not sure we have the Cavendish now, but because I was speaking to an Indian bloke once, and he said he was shocked that you only get one variety of banana over here. He said when in India, he said if you walked into a shop and asked for a banana, they'd laugh at you. You have to tell them what variety you want. And they've got all different varieties. It's like apples, but there's no real variety. But now Steve has said here. Salt is very good for you. 21 grams per day is the optimum intake. Yeah, but not table salt. I mean, I use table salt for washing glasses. I mean, it's pretty good for that. Not as in these glasses, but, drinking glasses. And he's gone on to say, it is fruit and vegetables that causes flatulence. Carnivores hardly ever fart. And when they do, they are odourless. Well, next time I meet an carnivore, I say, "Excuse me, can I smell your farts?" Just for scientific reasons only.
Steve hasn't met my cat.
I tell you the worst, dogs. Bulldogs. Bulldogs apparently the worst. I've never had a dog ever, or a cat. The only pet I had when I was a kid was a tortoise.
Did he fart?
Nah. All I do is eat mate. But Ivan Chai is made from rose bay willow herb, also known as fireweed, free everywhere in the UK. Wow! Thanks for that, Barefoot Forager. So rose bay willow herb.
It's known what you're looking for. That's the thing.
I'm going to make a note of that. I'm making a note of that. I think that's a good one. Shall we quiz? Because I know that I'm sure Miles will know what it where located.
Yeah, he might have come across that one. But I was going to say maybe the Barefoot Forager would like to put a book together with the images that people know what they're looking for.
So it's rose. Well, there is food for free, isn't there? There's a book that you can buy. I might bring it along. And by the way, hang on, willow herb. I'll look that up. Now, Aunt Sally wanted some cuttings from my very, 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 very old lavender bush, which is Victorian, I believe. I don't think you can get that variety anymore. Would you like some cuttings when I come along?
Yes, please.
Righto. I'll take several of them in case some of them don't take. But this thing, well, I think if there was a nuclear, well, I don't believe in nuclear bombs. But if there was a war, the only thing that would be standing would be the lavender bush because that stand up to any bloody thing that well. But so thanks for that, Barefoot Forager. That is brilliant. Ivan Chai, rosemary. It's all known as fireweed.
That's two things that would always get through then. So your lavender bush would survive, as would the school coach.
That's right. Yes.
He could have a nuclear war, but not that we'd ever get one. And the school coach would still get through.
Yeah, it would. Yes, it's quite amazing that. Now we got here. Now Celtic. Mark Andy says Celtic salt has 82 minerals.
Wow.
I think that's most of what you need.
It hydrates you as well, which is good.
Yes. Steve says eggs are considered carnivore. Oh, and he said it's russet. Yeah, when we were trying to get the apple name, it was the russet. That's a very old-fashioned name. And a baby with a laser said russet as well. Yes. Now this is an interesting one. Barefoot Forager said crab apples are one of the 9 sacred Saxon herbs. Amazing to detox you. An apple a day keeps the doctor away if thrown in the right direction. Yes.
Yes, at the doctor.
At the doctor, yes. Hopefully a squishy one. I've actually seen... hang on. We have a visitor. And it's... Hang on, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons here. And we've got... Life. It's Survival Steve. Hello, Steve. Hey!
Hi, folks. You all right?
Steve.
Hi, mate. You all right?
Fine, thanks. He's in the... he's our secret intelligence man. And he's in our secret location at 29 Avonwood. Oh, I said it again.
Oh, how did you know where I was?
Oh, bloody hell.
You've not seen that helicopter tracking you.
Hope you don't mind me gate crashing.
No, well, we was hoping you would because Vixen would like to have, I think, a reading because you do readings, don't you? And cards.
What, tarot card readings?
Yeah, and things like that.
Yeah, I do tarot cards. Yeah.
And by the way,
wait a minute, won't I get some hate mail if I admit to doing tarot cards?
Oh well. We'll get Wayne back on. Sorry, Wayne, but we're a bit crowded tonight. But by the way, don't tell anybody. But Survival Steve is bald like me because you usually wear it. I did, don't you? Oh shit! I'm giving that away as well. Anyway,
I like to wear hats to disguise my identity. But the secret's out now. The cat's out of the bag.
That's right. I'm wearing headphones to hide my identity.
Oh, I thought it was just a weird hat.
No. See, people don't realise. Look, it's me. See.
Oh, good. Okay. Well,
master disguise.
The other two guys look like full moons.
all this time, Chris. I thought you were a Cyberman.
But no, we've been talking. We found out about crab apples, and this is in your area as well because I know what I wanted to. Do you know anything about where is it now? What was that tea?
Ivan Chai.
Yes.
From
Apparently
Rosemary Willow.
That's it. Here it is. Ivan Chai is made from rosemary willow herb, also known as fireweed. Free everywhere.
So, that's a very prolific plant in the UK, and it's very easy to recognise. It's not in growth at the minute, but you'll still see dead ones. I mean, honestly, if you'll see that everywhere. So it usually grows on hedgerows, wild places. It grows really tall, probably over 6 foot, I guess, if you let it loose.
Is it the stuff with the white flowers on it?
It grows a purplish flower, but when the flowers die off, you're left with like a feathery seed head, almost like cotton, little fluffy feathers. And again, it's very distinctive, but there's loads of edible features to that plant.
That's interesting. So I'm going to get the was it a food for free book? I've got the food for free book. I'm going to look it up because
it'll be in there.
and try and find it. Yeah, because that sounds all right. It's a lot cheaper than Rhubarb if it's free. It's getting a bit expensive. I did read once, this is Mark Anthony, that apples are a good source of boron, which is a trace mineral that is essential for good health. And Asperger's for fudge. As fudge says, black carrots matter. Because carrots used to be black, didn't they? Black carrots. Yeah, that's right. Then we got here. Hello, Robert. Hello, mate. He's a regular. He's part of the team. Good evening to one and all. Hello, Robert. Hope to have you on soon. And we got here. Fibre is absolutely no. Hang on. Steve says fibre is absolutely not needed at all. It's a myth and totally false. And he's asked. Does your cat eat real meat or the tin stuff? So over to you, Vixen. Does your cat eat the real stuff or the tin stuff?
No, she eats the biscuits. Yeah.
That's why she farts all the time.
That's why she does.
Right, a baby with a laser. So in America, they make a syrup with rose bay willow herb, dead, easy to recognise, tall spikes of purple flowers found everywhere. And then we've got Stephen, Truth Seeker. Hello, you scoundrels. Hello. We've got Aunt Sally. Evening, folks. Shame I'm late. Sorry, I've missed interesting stuff. What do you think, Vixen? I said I'll give her a good spanking when I meet her in the shop for being late. I think lines and definitely note from parents, definitely, you know. Oh, and I'll give her a cutting of the lavender that cats weed up here. No, not really. This lavender smells a bit funny.
Is it the spanking that's the reason why Aunt Sally's always late?
Yeah. I haven't seen her in the shop since. I think she's taken it seriously. Now, Hatchy, if you plant an apple seed from a cocks, it could produce a red delicious, joking apart honest. Red delicious. Because I know that if you plant
red delicious apple, yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, because I know if you plant an apple seed, you don't know what it's going to come up by. That's why you got to take graft, aren't you? Apple trees. And he says,
I've got to say that in terms of apples, the biggest one I ever purchased was from a market in Prague, and this thing, I'm not joking, was probably the size of a football. And I had to sort of plan it into my day when I was going to actually eat this thing. It was, it was so huge.
Greece do large apples when I went there, and they're delicious. I'm not sure it's called a custard apple, but it tasted like custard. It's gorgeous. Absolutely, and that was huge, absolutely enormous. But you don't get them over here. And I thought when they got in the EU and that, I thought we'd get them, but we didn't get them. Have you tasted them at all, Steve or Vixen, these large apples?
No, but I'd be curious to know what they taste like.
Custard. Seriously, they taste like custard. Yeah, wow. They're really delicious. Trouble is, you know, I couldn't eat too many of them because they gave me the Welshes. Diarrhea, you know, but...
You mentioned crab apples earlier. I picked a load of them. It was towards the latter half of last year, but I left them in a box outside for several months before I actually got around to making some chutney out of them. And there was, obviously crab apples, the local vermin don't touch them because they're too sharp. Seriously, they were basically untouched and still in good health for several months until I eventually got around to making some chutney, which was delicious.
Wow!
Can you eat them straight from the tree then?
Oh no,
no.
They're very, very sharp, but you can't eat much of it. It's full of too much. I forget the name of the substance inside them, but it's too much to digest. So you can eat very small portions of it, but it's okay to make in purees and chutneys and what have you.
It's just good because I was saying earlier I'm going to make sauerkraut. That's easy to make, but really. And I was going to show because I actually made a special chamber which allows the gas out, but not air in. And you can make one very, very easy out of little pots, glass pots. So I'll show that hopefully soon. And now, yes, delicious birch sap. It's another one. Crab wine. I've never heard of crab wine.
All right.
Now, it says here, Hideous Getfucked says, like that one, March, the birch sap rises to collect to make wine. Didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good survival food as well.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone recognizes birch trees, silver birch.
Yeah.
Very whitish, silvery. Yeah, that'll yield, especially in the springtime, it'll yield a fair bit of fluid, which is slightly sweetish, I'd say, slightly sugary, usually fairly clear, but you can get quite a good yield from a tree.
Really?
Does it look a bit odd though if you're in the middle of a town licking a tree?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it looks very odd, but you know, I'm used to it now. I've looked odd all my life.
What light there is within this gloom has changed the last few days. Anyone noticed?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Today was a beautiful sunny day. What's it like up where you are, Steve? And where you are, Hanorak? Nice and sunny?
I've been freezing cold all day. It's I'd say it was a very grey, sort of dull-looking day.
Really?
Not a great deal of light. I've been in Carlisle checking out an area to do some survival courses. Very cold, but no, there was no sunshine.
Yeah, it's been like that here as well in Shropshire. It was very grey this morning. I went out about 9:30. I was had to travel around, and the sun finally merged about 2 o'clock this afternoon. But it's been bitterly cold, even just waiting for 5 minutes for a bus. It's been absolutely bitter. It's nice to get home.
It's an eating cold that we very rarely get in this country, and I actually noticed. I mean, I got a bird stand where I put some food out for the birds, and there's some water there, and there was ice on it all day, even though the sun's out. That's how cold it is.
Yeah.
Has it been a full moon? Because I think the moon causes frosts, personally.
It was a few days ago, I think. I was sleeping out last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it was freezing. I must admit, it was really cold.
Yeah.
Well,
you'll have to give some advice on the best sleeping bags to have, because there's a lot of crap that you can buy, but you can't. I mean, there must be some really good quality ones. I mean, this one's much.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm probably too tight to buy a decent one. Do you know what? If you want a good value for money, one for general stuff, just go to the Army Navy store and buy what's known as a bouncing bomb. There should be loads of them. Probably around about 30 quid. I would have thought you'd pick one of them up nowadays. They're quite big and bulky and fairly heavy, but they're, well, as the name would suggest, they're bomb-proof. They're very warm and they'll last you forever. You know, and if you can tolerate a bit of space. But I spent probably most of my army career using something called a jungle bag, which it's almost like the world's smallest sleeping bag, but it's designed for warm countries. They don't take up much space, but even I've been out in below zero temperatures in them, and I'm not saying for a second I was warm, but generally you don't get enough sleep when you're doing army maneuvers. So by the time you're cold, it's time to get up anyway. So
that's interesting. But
I do like my bed too much, I must be honest.
Don't join the army then.
The light has changed, doesn't it? You know. But I'll tell you one thing. This is my father. He was in the war, during the war, and he said nobody ever went down with a cold, ever, in the army, because they're all outside all the time. And I suppose you might notice that. Yeah.
I suppose you're getting vitamin D all the time, sunlight, which is one of the best things for our health, ultimately.
Well, do farmers get colds? I mean, most of them. And Aunt Sally said, looking forward to a good spanking. We won't go into that. No. Oh, dear. That's the worst thing to feed your cat. This is a Vixen. You don't feed your cat meat. Well, your cat she eats biscuits, doesn't she? Gives her the farts.
She eats cat biscuits, which is probably why. But I think she has irritable bowels anyway. I think she's quite sensitive to when I've given her sort of little bits of fish. Like she loves a prawn, for example, but it's like she can only really have tiny amounts of it. She just doesn't tolerate it very well. And if I give her too much, she just throws it up. So she's always had a really sensitive gut. Probably, yeah. I don't know why. I
didn't know cats could eat fish. Can they? Yeah, of course they
can.
I think it's dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Is it dogs?
You've got to pick out the bones.
Yeah. Now, Baby with a Laser says you can also make a syrup from birch. That's what you're saying, Steve. In the same way as you make maple syrup. And Barefoot Foreign just says, get Steve to run a Fockham Hall forage. I always learn loads from him. Yes, like to come down to southeast England, or actually, you could probably do one round Suffolk. That would be nice.
I usually learn loads from her. She doesn't need me to tell her anything. She's got a fantastic level of knowledge.
Now, this is interesting. The cold cracks open cell walls of apples, berries, etc. So again, I'm putting out a plea. Anybody knows where the apples are being grown in the Lee Valley? Please tell me. Baby with a Laser, tannin. Yeah, what about tannin? Tannin. We stand in the sun.
You get in. Yeah, tannin's something you get in trees specifically, but there's probably other forms of fruit will probably contain that.
Tea. Isn't tea a source of tannin?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, right. Yes, tea.
I think some wines as well. I think some red wines are a source of tannin. Is that right?
Yeah, probably.
Well, I noticed locally by me in Shropshire or in Telford here, they're busy chopping down trees at the moment, which is annoying. That they've just been widening a path around by me, which was a cycle path and a footpath, and they've made it so wide you could drive a lorry down there now and not hit anybody. But while they've been doing this, they've been taking all the older trees down. It's as though it's a plan to actually get rid. It's an excuse to remove all the old trees out of the way, probably for 5G. Because doesn't 5G need work on small bursts? And the trees stop that.
We've got one of their masts near where I live, and the bloody thing makes a noise. There's all these I don't know, sort of boxes underneath this big tower.
It's not a crackling noise, is it? Someone set it on fire.
Well, I don't know how people stand it living near there, because there's noise all the time. Now, Barefoot Foreigner says apple cider vinegar from crab apples, roughly chop, cover with water, add teaspoon of sugar, wait 3 weeks, taste like cider. Remove apples, wait 3 weeks, taste like vinegar. That's
brilliant. I never thought of doing that, but I had so many crab apples, which is, like I say, the local rodents don't touch them, even though they fall to the ground. And of course, there's not many people actually pick them. So I had basket loads of them, but I never thought of that. An apple cider vinegar is great.
Must just the south them. I think what you mean is, am I inviting you down to the south? Yes, because I'm being selfish. That's where I live, down the southeast. Yes, it's selfish time. You can go anywhere. You generally do your courses in Wales, and have you got any more courses coming up soon, Steve?
Yes, I mean the place I've been to today near Carlisle is guess when? That's the spring equinox, so it's actually March the 23rd. I'll be in actually it's full of yew trees as well. So yew trees are poisonous. So don't make pine needle tea out of yew trees. But there's a lot of yew trees there. Great for making old English longbows. But there's but not a tree to forage for, if you know what I mean, for edible stuff. But yeah, that's in March the 23rd, I believe, somewhere near Carlisle.
And we've got Baby with a Laser says, cheers for that, Barefoot. Even never thought of that. It's Baby with a Laser never thought of that. Would it speed it up if you use the mother from, say, Bragg's? Oh, I don't know what you mean. You add a little bit from Bragg's. That's apple cider vinegar. Don't know. Right, sleeping out in February up north, legends. Remember, we're spineless Southerners. You see, you've got to take that into account. Bloody spineless Southerners, Jessies. That's what they are. You know.
What county do the Jesse Southerners start? Some sort of Midlands.
Sort of Watford bypass, I think it is. Now, it says, ever tried camping with no home to go back to? No, but I'm sorry if you have been in that situation. And there was a chappie down in Waltham Cross that used to have somehow he must have got a mattress, and there was an old cinema that was closed down, and he used to sleep in the sort of entrance of the cinema. And I gave him some money, and I never said, "Oh, thank you, sir, thank you so much." Very, very kind. And I said, I hope it helped you and that. But and it was weather like, wasn't as cold as now, but it was cold. So I feel very sorry for anybody that hasn't got a home to go to. It's a terrible thing. And in this modern day and age, nobody should be in that situation. Nobody. It's you know, I mean, it's horrendous.
But they find housing for these people in dinghies.
Yes. That's it. And the Royal Navy, apparently they're going to patrol the, what is it?
The North Sea.
North Sea, that's
Channel.
it. But what with? I mean, they've got pedalo boats or something? I mean, you know, they haven't got any ships, have they? You know, they're all sort of out there, come in number 6, or I thought you're sinking, you know. Now, where are we? Oh, yeah, so, as I say, I'm sorry you was in that situation. It's the sharp taste of crap apples. Tannin, that's Baby with a Laser. Yes.
All right.
Local council poisoned crab apple trees. Local council. Oh,
Is that there?
Wouldn't surprise me. What
do you know? You probably have to be careful doing any foraging in sort of any sort of council land. You know, that's one kind of caveat, because you never know what's being sprayed, pesticides or weed killer, etc., etc. So you do be careful with that.
That's right. And what's this? Arsburgers as Fudge says it's not that impressive that the BBC said it's the hottest winter since records began. They had a bleeding laugh, and then they're having a giraffe. Now you've got here only seeds from yew tree. Don't know anything about that.
All right. I usually steer well clear of them. To be fair, you don't see many of them. I was quite blessed today. The forest I was in was full of yew trees. Yeah, usually you only get them in ornamental parks and gardens. Country estates and cemeteries is where you tend to find yew trees.
Yes. Well, at least if you anything from the yew tree, have plenty of body in it, wouldn't it? Sorry. And usually, yeah, that's Hachi says usually find a yew tree in graveyards. Hideous Get Fucked said 3 degrees for the last 3 weeks hasn't changed on the car thermometer, but it feels colder. My age. Yeah, I mean, I went out yesterday to get my duck eggs, and it was bloody freezing. Absolutely free. I mean, I live sort of near the top of a hill, not the top of it, and this farm is virtually at the top. My godfathers, it certainly was the wind in the willows. It certainly was the wind in the willows. Yes, Barefoot Forager says, yes, using mother from something else would speed it up. So that would be, so you'd add some apple cider vinegar to the mix that we're talking about, making your own cider vinegar, but doesn't need it. Genuinely, you'll get a huge mother in a few weeks. Ooh, matron. Oh, matron. That's it. And now, thanks for that, Barefoot noted. And then we've got the birds eat yew tree berries and pass the seeds.
Okay.
I used to work in a place called Northall House, if anybody's up in this neck of the woods, and it was an architect's office. Well, they converted it. It was a derelict building, which they converted into well, the story of it was that it started off in the Victorian times as a children's hospital, and that went into the Edwardian times. In the First World War, it was a convalescent home for the troops coming back, possibly officers and that, convalescing from, being at the front. And I don't know quite what happened after the First World War, but this architect, looking at the history of it, I seem to recollect they bought this place in the early 70s, and it's derelict and had it done up, and they converted it into offices. And I feel very, very lucky to have had the chance to work there. It's a beautiful place to work, and it's a really nice atmosphere. The people were very pleasant there, and I enjoyed it. But what I was going to say is that, what was I going to say? I've lost it. Oh, well, that was it. They had an old Victorian kitchen garden that had gone into disuse, but it had a load of pears that were growing there that had gone wild, and they had loads and loads of starlings. And excuse my language, the starlings in autumn used to get pissed on the fruits, and you see them trying to take off, and they're fluttering all over the place. And if you didn't know they were pissed, you think they were injured. They weren't. They was just like, but yes, it was food for picking there, so it was quite interesting. But now back to what we was going to originally do. We was going to do, was it some fortune telling or something like that, or are you into this, Vixen? I think you wanted some guidance, didn't you, Vixen?
Possibly. That might be an idea. Does anyone want to help me out?
Does anybody want to help out with any guidance?
What's
like
the query?
What's that?
What's the query you have?
Well, I'm single, and I've been single for a very long time. Does anybody ever love me?
Do you go out?
Cat loves you. Well, so have I been single for a long time. I mean, let's face it, the only one that loves me is the bleeding.
Are you propositioning me, Eric?
No, but it's just a spider at the corner of the room. Boris,
you like spanking.
You like spanking, yeah, that's it, yeah. Well, let's face it, so has Miles been single for a long time. Well, a lot of us have been single for a long time. Could it be more happy?
I'm single.
Yeah, and you're single as well? Yes, right. Mind you, you're married to a bus, aren't you?
Yeah, I look like the back of one.
No. Well, I'm married to my car because I like cars. I'm a bit of a petrol head, so I'm in push bike as well. Strange boy. But no, they say someone will come along when you least expect it. Bullshit.
My mum and dad always say, well, there's someone out there for everyone. I thought, well, mine must be in New Zealand then, because they're not locally here.
That's right. Another one was, I've had a breakup with some girl. It'd always be, there's plenty more fish in the sea. Yeah, but I don't want to date a fish,
You should have a fucking whole dating site.
Yes, fuck 'em all dating. That's not exactly the wisest choice of name. Easily. It sound like a bloody knocking shop, doesn't it? Fuck 'em all dating. You're gonna get all the pervs and the Rainmack Brigade coming on. Hello, darling.
And that's just for you, Chris.
That's right. Oh, hang on. Barefoot Foragers giving some advice here. Well, first of all, we got here Stephen Tree steady. I think you're going to give Chris a heart attack. And it says here, Barefoot Foragers says, for cats, seaweed, honey, catnip, dandelion, parsley, mint, celery, cress, raw egg, cucumbers, melon, apple cider vinegar, and if your cat don't fart after that, I think it'd be a miracle. Sorry. Well, all together.
Is that a recipe for the cats? I'm not quite sure I understand that. Is that
No.
what the cats
I
will
think
eat?
they're the things that would be would be suitable for a cat to consume. But my cat, she doesn't even like fish oils. I think to myself, she could do with some fish oils. My cat, she sniffs it and she just pulls an horrible face. And she's like, "Don't come near me with that again." She just hates it. So it'd be nice actually. I'd be interested to try, some. Because isn't catnip also called cat mint? Isn't that sort of they're related, aren't they? Catnip and mint they're related, so that's why they
All right.
yeah. I've heard they like I've heard they like olives as well, but you shouldn't give them too much because of the salt content.
Yeah. I didn't
See,
know any of that.
Cheeky. Most of the fish. Oh, hang on. Was it? What's this? Cheeky sod. Chris is too old for hanky panky.
He's been on top of the bus recently.
I'll throw my false teeth at you for saying that. Sorry. Most of the fish oils are rancid. And have you noticed?
I was talking the therapeutic fish oils. The stuff that we have that we can get. It's the therapeutic grade. Yeah.
It says here, what is it? Catnip is in the mint family, best remedy for kids, genuinely. But really, when I like buying sardines, they're very good. Even though if you get them in a tin, they've probably been boiled to buggery, so there's not much nutrition in them, but they're quite nice. But all you can get now is sardines in sunflower oil. And I don't want them in sunflower oil, because sunflower is one of the bad oils. But if you buy,
I think sunflower oils are only bad if they've been heated, if they've been heated up. They've got to be fresh. So in the same way that we're talking about, things being rancid, as long as the fish, the sunflower oil isn't old or heated up, as long as it's protected. But I don't think it will be if it's in a tin and they cook the fish inside the tin, don't they? That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a survival tip. I think you would know about it, Steve, where you get a tin and you open the tops of it, and then you catch light of the oil, and that heats the fish inside. It also makes you a cup of tea as well. So you use the tin as a cooker as well as heating the. You sort of go and then you burn your hand on the stove when you're trying to eat the fish.
Yeah, I've seen that done.
Yeah. So there we go. See.
So, well, our sardines down here in Shropshire must be very posh then, because if you only get them in sunflower, we get them in tomato ketchup, and spring water, which is probably just tap water. They just rebranded it.
Snobby gits.
I know. You need to get with the times.
Hang on. Shall I lift my little fingers as I get the
Is that a dartboard on the other side?
No, it's Nathan's. What's it? Isn't it? It's Nathan's book. Here it is. I think you've got one, Stephen. Oh, haven't you? See.
I have, but not today. I've got my Steve-O mug.
Steve-O mug. What the bloody hell's that?
Yeah. Oh God, it's some TV. Was it Jackass or something?
Oh, I remember him. Yes.
Yeah, comedy stunts or something.
Yes.
All words to that effect.
Something like that.
Not as long as they're not a load of cunning stunts. Sorry, that's terrible.
Yes.
Yes, but no. The thing is that we live. Well, both Vixen and I, we live near the as I say, Lee Valley, and that is full of natural stuff. I think you could probably pig out on the stuff they got there. But the only trouble is that there's lots of lakes there. So you don't know whether the ducks and the swans have crapped on it or anything like that.
We know it's organic if they have.
Oh, that's right. Yes. But apparently there's been some sightings of Bigfoot down there as well. As I think one came into your shop, didn't they, Vixen? Bigfoot. I think I saw a sighting of one. So I saw one come into your shop. I like this one. That's a cracker. Hideous Get Fucked says Starmer has got less spine than little sardines. Yeah, so you must have a very posh littles where you are, His Royal Anorak. I mean, all we get is bloody sunflower oil and tomato. stuff.
Well, it's actually a lot of the Sainsbury's, don't you know? Posh.
Oh, very posh.
Sainsbury's, and yes, they do them in a variety of. They're all the same colour tins, but they've got different. Yeah, I mean they all taste the same, but very posh, I tell you.
And was it Stephen Trueseeker says probably a portal if Bigfoot is turning up. That's right. Yes. Yeah. But actually, they have, was it the people of, what's that big American supermarket? People of Walmart? Walmart? People of Walmart. Well, I think we should do a film of People of Waltham Abbey. You could have a camera set up at the window of the shop,
Yeah.
So, People of Waltham Abbey. There's some right bloody weirdos walking around.
There are some characters, definitely some characters, yeah.
Is that your neck of the woods, Eric?
It is.
Oh, is it you there as well?
Yeah.
Well, I don't live. We both don't live in Waltham Abbey. We live sort of. We live in the posh.
We just spend far too much time in Waltham Abbey.
Yeah, we do.
Is that Buckinghamshire?
No, it's Essex.
Is it? Right, okay.
Yeah, because both Vixen and I live in Hertfordshire. We don't live in Essex. Ooh. And Waltham Abbey is in Essex. But I'll tell you who is buried in Waltham Abbey. Harold! The bloke with the arrow in his eye, who thought he was Irish.
Right. So, the original one-eyed symbology.
Well, apparently, yeah. He was our last king, wasn't he? I believe, Harold.
Yeah. The last English king, they say, don't they?
Yeah.
Can I do that? The one-eyed king, 1066. Yes. Yeah. Funny that, isn't it?
It is weird.
The eye of Lucifer.
So how far are you from the delights of Harlow? I did a bus to Harlow once, and
oh bloody hell!
I'll tell you what, I was glad to go on the next one back out.
Well,
it was like a twin-day route.
Well, I don't know about you. You part of Harlow comes with you when you leave Harlow, because the streets are full of dog shit. Oh crap! Oh, you poor sod! You've been to Harlow.
Yes.
Oh. How would you describe it, Vixen? Harlow? Sort of. Well,
I'd probably rather not actually discuss Harlow for fear of offending people. I don't know. I don't know who's from Harlow, so I think it's one of those. Yeah, that's where I'll leave that.
Did you know? Seriously, it's the drugs capital of the southeast, Harlow.
Oh, like, it wouldn't surprise me.
But hang on,
I live in the drugs capital of the northeast, but I live in the dealer's end, so it's all right.
Jerry Hayes used to be the most for Harlow. I've actually seen Jerry Hayes on a train when I was coming home from work. Now, Aunt Sonny says, I used to love going to Waltham Abbey. Shame it's run down into a ghost town now. Now, I think this is beautifully put. It could put music to this. Harlow is a shithole.
That's what the tourist information says as well.
Well, the story is that Harlow was designed on the back of a cigarette packet on a wet Sunday afternoon, and there was a problem with the ministry. They had loads and loads of cement, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they decided to build Harlow. Everywhere's concrete.
Well, your local operator is Arriva, the bus company, Arriva.
Yeah.
They've introduced a service that goes from Heathrow Airport to Harlow Town. Now, who in their right mind is going to fly in from somewhere like Barbados and think, I'll tell you what, darling, let's go do this bus up to Harlow. Shit, let's do the next one back quick.
I actually saw Ian R. Crane, the late Ian R. Crane, did a talk, and he at Harlow, and went there, and it was, excuse my language, pissing down with snow. It was about 10 years ago before he died. And it was a freezing cold day, and I think it was at freeze up in 2010, something like that. So it was a long time ago. And I went there, and the heating, I think, had broken down. So I was sitting in this room whilst I give the lecture, all sitting in overcoats, shivering like anything. That sums up Harlow, I think. But now Jerry Hayes, he's a lawyer. I better be a bit careful what I say. Let me say, I was on the train going home, and it's sitting in the station at Liverpool Street Station, and he got on. And let's put it this way: it made me detest politicians even more than I detested them before. I'll just leave it at that. And I got a whiff of Jerry Hayes' armpit. And you think, how did they get that? Yes. I was sitting with me reading my newspaper. This is quite a few years ago. And Jerry Hayes got on the train and saw somebody at the back of the train who he knew. Now, most normal human beings would walk up to those people down the little corridor and talk to them. No. He stood in the gangway, and behind him was the first class, and where I was sitting was the second class, you see. And he decided to lecture to everybody how marvellous he is. Oh, we had a late night sitting with all this and the other. And a bloke gets on, and he's blocking the gangway. He says, excuse me. And he's waffling, excuse me. Yes, do you wish to come through? The bloke said, no, I'm standing here for the benefit of my health. What do you think I want to do? So anyway, where a normal person would step back into the concourse to let the person through into the gangway, wrong. He leant across me and crumpled up the newspaper. And I got this whiff of ministerial armpit, which smelled of sort of stale farts and gins. But apart from that, he's a very nice bloke. You know, I'm sure he's well liked by his constituents. But I don't know where he is now. He's got out of Parliament now.
Was he underneath the train by the time he got off?
I felt like it, yeah. He went in the first class because they get first class travel free of charge, don't they? MPs.
Bastards.
So yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, yes. Now, where are we? Manchester here, right by the airport. Can see the control tower from my bedroom window. Bloody hell, that must be a bit bleeding cold. Now it says here, Stephen Tree Seeker, I'm not from the south, just live here. Oh well, any reason you want to come here? And it says here, hereditous baby with the laser says, start off in Berkshire, end up in Twatshire. Now, Barefoot Foreigner says, I live in the middle of nowhere with the gypsies. Would thoroughly recommend. Big skies, big attitude, few visitors. Where's that? Canby Island? Few visitors. That's few. Memories. Jerry Hayes' armpit. I could say more, but as I say, he's in the legal profession, and I don't think we'll end up in court, you know. But he's a very nice man, I think.
Salt of the earth.
Yeah. Right.
Just like
now,
Canby Island's a lovely part of the world, yes.
Well, you're below sea level in Canby Island, aren't you, if you live there? Did you know that? You actually have to walk up to see the sea. Yeah, seriously.
I've certainly been to the terminus on the bus there from Southend. Yes.
Have you really?
It's a random terminus.
Yes. At Southend, there's a rumour that you can actually smell the sea air on a Thursday afternoon when the burger bars are closed. It's only a rumour. Now, Waltham Abbey used to be posh, and something happened. I don't know. What do you think happened, Vixen, to Waltham Abbey? Something went titties up.
I honestly don't know. I don't know. It is sad. Yeah.
Is there anything numerology in? I think we can mention the address of the shop because people want to go there. It's in, was it 3 Sun Street, is it? So is there anything in numerology with the 3 that we could say that is good for the shop, you know? People should go there.
Is that Vixen's shop?
Yes.
It's not my shop. I work with Miles, but that's where I work, yeah.
Yes. So
I think the number 3 on its own is fairly safe. And it's usually if it's paired up with another 3, it's a problem, 33. But no, 3.
It's an interesting address as well. Sun Street, did you say?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the sun in tarot is a positive card, and it's beaming with positivity. So, oh wow, what kind of shop is it?
It's a health food shop, and
Interestingly, actually, it might be of interest to you that Sun Street equals 33, so you're actually 333.
Wow. It's 33 in Jamaica, is it? Sun Street.
Sun Street in reduction, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, there you have it.
There you go.
That's good.
333.
That's all good. Yeah. That's a good thing. That.
And there's carvings on the side of the jetties. You know, the jetties are the where the top floor juts out over the bottom floor. It's a jetty, and there's carvings that are, shall we say, hermaphrodite.
Hermaphrodites, the ones I think that Miles said that they're old, they were figureheads from previous ships, because the wood that's been used to for the buildings that have been provided for the buildings, the ships that were used, they use the figureheads as well. So they're on the corner. Yeah, that's right. They're like gargoyles, but they're hermaphrodites. Yeah. There's, I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And I think there's some old cannons that they used from ships. They put the cannonball in the top, and it was to stop carts going down the road, the cobbled roads. I think those cannons were off of warships from the old galleons, going back to the sort of 19th century. And I know they used them in the East End of London, and I think they might have used them elsewhere as well. But Waltham Abbey itself is very historic, because we've got Harold, who's buried there, and they got Queen Eleanor. She was just down the road in the posh bit, the Hertfordshire, Waltham Cross. Do you know anything about Queen Eleanor, Vixen? I think they rested there, didn't they, or something? When
they were transporting her body from, I forget which two locations, so from one location to another, so to her final resting place, so where she died to her final resting place, and along the route, everywhere that they rested is where they built a monument in her name. I don't know how many there were. There's not many left standing. Yeah.
No, but she might have got a bit of it. Must have got a bit whiffy by the time she got to where they got to bury.
Yeah, I did wonder. I mean, because I didn't realise how many points that there were, and I'm thinking, well, how long was she on the road for? Hopefully, it wasn't the summer.
Yeah.
Was she on a bus?
I take a bleeding ages.
Come on, lads, got to build another one now.
Well, I'll give an example by bus, okay? My battery was flat the other day, so I went by bus, okay, to see Miles. It takes me 15 minutes by car. It takes me just over half an hour by bike, about 35 minutes by bike. It took me a bloody hour by bus. Why do I have to keep stopping to pick up passengers? Why can't they just run me home? You know, I mean, it gets on your tits, doesn't it?
That's called a taxi, Eric.
Yes. I'm too tight-fisted for them. 3 is a beautiful number. Artist, communicator, joy bringer.
That's lovely.
And I'd say that sums up the atmosphere when you walk into your shop. You get
Is that how you would describe the atmosphere? You would actually describe it like that?
Oh, it's nice. It's a very nice, pleasant atmosphere.
I think people sort of assume that we're a bit bonkers in the shop.
No, it's the customers that come in that are bonkers, not people like me. No.
3 is a beautiful number. 333 is symbolic of growth and divine protection. So it's a pretty firm number you've got going on there.
And in fairness, 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, and 9 is the number of completion.
Yeah.
And every multiple of 9 equals 9.
Oh, right.
That's interesting.
And, can I ask where the shop is? Which town it's in? Oh, it's in Waltham Abbey. Right. So just to help you out on the dating scene there. So if there's any single guys there, get yourself down to the health food store, Waltham Abbey. Just ask for Vixen.
Yeah. Barbecue. But could it be the reason we girls? My dad used to before he kissed my mum, sometimes for a laugh he'd go, "Hello, darling." She said, "Oh, you're so romantic," because he's a bit of a laugh. You know? But now 3, 6, 9 are my numbers, That's right. And 369 were the numbers during World War II as well, I believe. That's all 369, the beginning of it. And I went to the same school as Harry H. Corbett of Steptoe fame. Did you really, baby, with a laser?
Wow. At the same time?
Yes, mate. Was it at the same time? He was a bloody good actor. He really was. But now we was talking earlier about 22 coming up as a number. There's going to be a date to watch for.
222.
222. Now, I've got another one. When would be a good date for Miles to come on the show? When would be his numbers to come on the show? Because he's been saying February. Now it's moved to March. He can come on. He's a very, very busy man. But we're going to have a sort of like a health special with Miles. So we're thinking of even having a phone in. What about that?
That'd be interesting.
Trouble is, you have someone going, "Hello, I've got a pimple on my bum. Here's a picture of it." But no, seriously,
I think
is there a
good idea.
Yeah, I think it will work. You know, it would need a 2 week, shall we say? You start with the small adverts and then you gradually build up. Yeah, that's the thing. Now, hang on a minute. We just, what's this? Hereditous Get Fucked said 22 Shit Street. What's 22 Shit Street? I don't know. Oh, is that where you went to school? No, it was Bench Hill School and Charleston School. I left in 1981. Not many people know that. Yes. But when I first started, school where I used to live, there's another school in the area where the bloke, was it Roland Hill, who discovered who invented the penny black stamps? I think he went there. So there we go.
See, there's a monument of him on the top of the column in Shrewsbury by the
really,
by the council building.
Oh.
It stands about 100 foot in the air.
Bloody hell. And was it? I left school in 87. I went to a really good school. It was approved. Sorry. And have you done your 5 numerology birth numbers, Stephen? Mine are 22, life path, 11, heart's desire, 24, birthday, 6, personality, 8, expression. Now, that's an interesting one. What about the numerology birth numbers? And is there anything in numerology for Vixen? Is her knight in shining armour going to come through those doors at the street and say, "Darling, I'm the one for you"? Say, what?
Is he Dracula?
It'll probably be. I've got a boil on my bottom. I'll just show you. Oh, hang on. This is very kind. After the first time I saw Miles on your show, Chris, I inadvertently embarked on a journey of health consciousness. All because of you, Chris. Bless you. That's very kind. Thank you. And also,
doesn't get you out of the spanking, though, does it?
No, it doesn't get out of the spanking. No, it's very kind. Thank you. And of course, thanks to Vixen as well, because Vixen's helps us as well. Got incredible knowledge there. And another one I'd like to do is to film where we're going into the Lee Valley and looking at all the different wild plants, because I believe that Miles is he's quite into all that, isn't he? I believe.
Yeah.
Is that right? You know, but also, have you thought of doing a film, Steve? You know, of all the wild plants and things? Or I think it'd probably be better off your courses, wouldn't it? If people come along to your course.
I'm not very photogenic, as you can tell. But yeah,
you're lovely.
Sorry?
You're lovely, Steve.
Oh no, I heard you the first time.
Romance.
That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. I wouldn't rule it out, but I'm probably not not the world's greatest in front of a camera, I guess. But I don't know.
I think the first time that you go on, I mean, the early stuff I did, excuse my language, was crap basically because I was twitchy and nervous. But I think that I've done solo ones, and at first it's a bit weird talking to yourself. But I'm a bit loopy anyway, so I talk to myself most of the time anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, I can waffle for England, just waffle and waffle and waffle, and but I think that we've got a nice team together here now, haven't we? Really, because everybody has got microphone discipline, and and the amount of shows you listen to on YouTube where everybody's shouting over each other, and and that's the thing. Now, you've got your courses. Is there any particular reason why you do courses up in Scotland and Wales? Or is it because the people down here got BO or something? Or what is it about Southeast? But I suppose it's near.
I'm just open to requests. So if you guys want a course in Waltham Abbey, I'd be delighted to come down and get myself a suntan, enjoy the unpolluted air around down south, rather than the noxious fumes from the coal mining up here.
I don't know. I think I can't promise you a non-polluted air. I'm afraid. I'm sorry to say, but yeah, it'd be nice.
No, I basically just do courses. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, just because as Eric says, we've got the Lee Valley, and there's quite a lot going on in the Lee Valley, but it is huge. The Lee Valley is huge, and Miles has pointed out some useful herbs in the past, and he said, look, this is this and that's that, and I'm not very good at remembering them, but I can see that he does know. He's very good at recognizing them in the way that I don't.
Yeah, I think it's important to I think it's just important to be in nature, even if we don't know all the plants, and even if we don't pick them and use them. It's just good for the spirit to be out in nature.
I agree.
Yes, by the way, I like your subtitle you got. I won't read it out because we're on YouTube, but yes.
All right, yeah.
Steve, yeah. But the trouble is, you can't camp out. You're not allowed to camp out in the Lee Valley. I don't think they allow you to do it. But it's so huge. I don't think they'd notice.
Yeah,
they'd be straight
just don't ask permission.
Yeah, just do it because it is enormous. And I've said this loads of times. One summer, once you get about half a mile or less than that, actually, you don't see people. You're generally on your own.
It sounds a nice place. I might do a little Google search to have a little look. But I sometimes follow.
I'll show you a little bit of a background to it. This is, where are we? This is the canal down the back. Can you see it behind me? Here we are. Oh, the seat's in the way.
It's got a red chair in it.
With someone chucks a red chair in it.
Is it Wolverhampton?
And yeah, that's Waltham Abbey Church. Cathedral. That's Abbey Cathedral.
If you lean to the left again, there's a red chair in that one as well.
Yes, I was chucked a red chair in.
It's the same bloke chucked it in the river, in the canal.
But it's all very, there's a traditional ye olde Indian takeaway there as well, isn't there? I mean, that's all traditional. Would you like a chapati, please? This is what King Harold had before he went down. I bet you don't know where this is.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Isn't that the picture with a bus in it somewhere? There's a bus behind you, isn't there?
There's a bus there.
Probably is. Yeah, there is. Look there.
Yeah, that's the shitty. That is the old pond, and that's a shitty thing they put there in the 60s, apparently. And it stayed there.
There's a red chair in that and all. They collected them.
There's a red chair as well. Now, here's a more difficult one. Where's this? With a red chair in it. It's Hoddesdon. That's Hoddesdon. That's the Swan pub, and now I think that's Grade 2 listed. It's very, very old. But there we go.
ass-
That's all
I'm
part
assuming
of.
that crop is part of the background and not on your head.
Well, believe it or it's funny you should say that. So there we go. So and I'm going to blur there because there's a load of crap behind me. But no, seriously, it's very interesting. But I was cycling along, and there's not a soul around. This is midsummer. You're going shh, and I thought if I did see Bigfoot now, no one would believe me, would they? Because by the time I get my camera out, which is in my backpack, the bleeding thing would be gone, wouldn't it? You know, unless it
But
wants to eat me
do
or
you not
something.
find there seems to be a lot less people about in general at the moment?
Yes.
Because Milane is on your in the audience today. We met in Sainsbury's last week, sometime Tuesday or Wednesday,
Yes.
and it was 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening, and it was dead. There's hardly anybody. There's quite a few cars on the car park, but the supermarket itself was absolutely dead, given it was peak time.
Yeah.
And it seems to me there seems to be a lot less people about in general. I don't know if anybody else is noticing that.
Yes. Well, when I went to Waltham Abbey last, did I come along Friday? Didn't I? I need
think it was Friday,
tablet
yeah.
top up. Yeah. It's like a ghost town. It's like a Sunday afternoon. Absolutely
It
empty.
is. It's true. It is like a ghost town.
And there's hardly any traffic on the road either. So, mind you, I didn't drive. I went by bus. but I will be driving this time. I tell you that. I'm not going to do a bleeding bus again. But no, it's a very it's very quaint. But I think it's got the shortest high street. I think in England. I think Sun Street is the shortest high street. I think.
All right. Okay. That's interesting.
That's supposed to be a sort of thing. But
I think it was in the Guinness Book of Records for having the highest concentration of pubs.
Yeah, there's one also on loads of them because it used to be Ware, didn't it? Where that was where the brewery people used to meet. I used to work in Ware, but if you walk through Waltham Abbey, it's loads of pubs, isn't there? I mean, walking up Sun Street is 1, 2, 3. About 3 before I get to Miles.
What, in the square? But you've got some that are just off the square as well. So before you get to the square, there's some little side roads, and down there there's pubs as well. There's loads. There's just so many in that small area.
And
So
those are
the ones that are still remaining.
Yeah.
So if you walk down Sun Street, then from one end to the other, by the time you get to the other end, you're pissed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could be.
Not stepped in the same pub twice.
That's it. Apparently, it was a challenge. Who could get to Waltham Abbey to Waltham Cross and go into every single pub and arrive at the other end still walking? There was some sort of challenge that somebody told me about, which sounded quite funny.
Well, I saw a bloke staggered out of a pub, and there's a fella outside one of the pubs with his motorbike. It's something gone wrong with the engine. He was undoing it, and the drunk said, "What's the matter with your motorbike?" And he said, "The piston broke." He said, "So am I." Sorry. So I'm laughing. I've heard it before. Now, Stephen True. Oh, we do have the Ponzi people here, don't we? Oh, crumbs. I've got to read these ones out. What is it? I'm not far from Stonehenge. Well, I'm very envious, actually. Seriously, that's a lovely part of the world. I love the West Country, yes. And get Steve to do an Avebury Stone Circle Foraging Anti-Satanism Survival course. Steve,
that would be a belter.
Yeah, because Avebury, you can go there, you can walk around it. And I've got a funny story about Avebury. Many years ago, I went to Avebury, you see. And there's one of these new age shops there that I went in. And I was with my sister, I think. And it must have been a long time ago because I haven't seen my sister for years. And I could hear this. And I thought, coming from architecture, I know what it is. They've got a problem with their heating and ventilating. And what it is the heating and ventilating pipes are too small. And that's what's making that noise. Perhaps I should sort of advise them to have larger pipes along, larger cladding around there and things like that. And I was just about to say something. But it said, no, it's didgeridoo music. That didgeridoo music going through loudspeakers. But so that sounded like the air conditioner had gone wrong. But Avebury, no, you can actually run around the. We used to be able to run around the stones, but you used to be able to go up to the stones with Stonehenge. And they stopped you, and they started to make money out of it. But I think Silbury Hill, I'm not sure whether you can still go up it or not. But when I went there, they tried to call it off, but you can still go up it. But the trouble is, it'd been piddling with rain, and it was grass, and you'd slide on your bottom. See, notice I didn't say arse because that would have been rude. I said bottom. So there we go. So there we
I've
go.
done loads of training around there when I was in the army.
Yeah, because Salisbury Plain.
Yeah,
Yes.
lovely countryside.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's where one of them massive white horses is painted on the hillside, isn't it?
Mm.
Did you do any training at that place? Where was it now? It's down the West Country, where it's a completely deserted village. They actually deserted it in World War II, and the people have never gone back. And it's part of the Ministry of
what's it
Defence.
called?
Wolverhampton.
No, it's oh crumbs! It's down near in Dorset somewhere. I'll have to find that out. It's in Dorset.
All right, I don't know.
Yeah,
I went to a place. I think it was called. Oh, I forget the name of it. It was in Norfolk. It was Thetford, perhaps. And I believe that the land around there has basically not been developed at all since like World War II, but perhaps before that. So you've got lots of the natural vegetation, as Britain should be had it not been, subject to agriculture and land development. But lots of stunning trees and plant growth, prolific.
That's incredible, because I know that in Cyprus, when the Cyprus War started off in 1974, there's a town there that's between the buffer zones. So it's only UN soldiers that are allowed in. And I worked with a bloke, I think he was in the army, and he said it's really creepy. You walk around there and have you seen the film Omega Man, where he's walking around a deserted town, there's no one there? And he said there's cars from 1974 still in the showrooms. And there's everything just left. And he's on patrol there. But why that's I mean, why it's still there? They keep the two sides against each other. But the trouble is, he said the Cypriots were the Greek and the Turkish Cypriots got on well. They traded with each other, and it is only a political thing. It's an American political thing that stirred it up, because America wanted a base on part of the island to listen into Russia. But no, Cyprus, it's quite, because we still got, was it Akrotiri, isn't it, in Cyprus? I think I think it's still there. Have they still got aeroplanes, Dane, or have they cut back so much they ain't got any aeroplane? Can't afford to have aeroplanes.
They did when I was last there, with probably 6 or 7 years ago, I think. There was definitely aeroplanes. I believe it was an RAF base.
It's quite big though. It's quite a large sort of area, But now we got here. Was it? If we get billy goats, Gruff's promised hemorrhage fever, black fruit and veggies key, your Sloan gin will save lives. If we get billy goats, Gruff's promised hemorrhage fever.
The next catastrophic disease that's predicted.
Oh yes.
Oh, is that what it's rumored to be? Hemorrhagic fever, right?
I
And
don't
black
know.
fruit and veg.
I think that's what she's suggesting there. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Slow gin.
It's good stuff. Slow gin. It's very nice.
Yeah.
So plums and things like that then.
Well, that's. I mean, what did I say? To think our ancestors knew all about this.
Yeah.
Now we got here. Barefoot Foreigner says that New Age shop is in Mary Leyline. It's proper magical. Yes. with bad air conditioning. Sorry. So, just get focused. Was it Rolf Harris? Oh, here it comes. Marlene, wasn't Stonehenge built in the 60s? Oh, bloody hell. No. I was taken there when I was a little boy, a little wee lad, I was about that high, and they had an exhibition. And all the photographs, I remember it quite clearly, of them when they lifted the stones up and rebuilt it and put concrete under some of the stones and that in the 1950s. And some bozo has said that the Stonehenge was built in the 1950s or 60s. Bull of the shit, no. Because it's actually in paintings that were done several hundred years ago. It's been there for years. That's waffle, you know. Now, it says Stephen Trusick said, Baby Laser said, had a weird experience in Warminster near you in the early 90s. Shall we? I don't know about that. You know. Now, Kingston Will. Hello, mate. Hello, fellow Fockers. Sorry, I'm late. Oh, another bleeding late one. It's not my fault. I work on the railways. Don't work on the buses, do you? Get that bus out, Butler. Now, Stephen Tree said, there's fucking military base right next to where he lives. Helicopters, planes going in and out all the time.
Yeah, this is a secret UFO base underneath it. Don't tell anybody.
Oh, no. And you've been there, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
That's it. Yeah, you've been there. Yeah, that's it.
I was told not to tell anybody, but I'm spilling the beans. Yeah. That's why they built one next to Stonehenge.
That's it. Did you know what Stonehenge really was? It was a public lavatory. It was actually a public lavatory. And it was given permission to be built there by the Stone Age Town Council. Because who else would build a shithole in the middle of nowhere that no one would use? Sorry. Right. Now, you can go up Silbury Hill, Barefoot Forager. Obviously, I still went up, down, and left my keys at bottom.
Oh.
Dear. Came down, and they were a long way from where I left them. Bloody fairy folk. Interesting.
See that with what Milane was saying about the about Stonehenge. I have seen footage during my wake up process where I've seen footage where they've been showing Stonehenge being either rebuilt or being built using basically modern cranes and trucks and that sort of thing. Which makes me wonder it's actually been there as long as we think, and the same with a lot of the architecture that we see around. That is a lot of it as old as his story would tell us.
Well, the thing is that there is paintings of it, and it's been mentioned in books hundreds of years ago. Now, it says there's an MOD base just up the road. I bet they have underground base there. Who knows? Yes, and with the UFOs, of course. Really?
Yeah,
that's where you saw your UFOs, isn't it? That's where you saw your saucers. Yep, that's it.
The underground. That's where I met the Greys.
Yeah. What about the Greens? The Greens were there and all as well. They were
at war with the Blue Avians. So. Can I tell you a secret? Some of my ex-workmates actually went to Area 51.
I bet there's sod all there.
I've got no. Do you know what? They certainly never saw any flying saucers or aliens.
It's interesting. It's Area 51 though. And
well,
51
yeah, I mean
that's the Illuminati.
Yeah, it's a very interesting number. Which to me. If somebody wrote Area 51 and put PSYOP in brackets next to it, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
I agree.
51, May the 1st, Beltane, that's what that's all about.
I think the real Area 51 is right under people's noses somewhere else. Would you, if you had a top secret base, tell everybody with it? But it is, no, you bloody well wouldn't. You'd put a hoax one out and get everybody to talk about it, and you would have it somewhere else. Look what the Americans did with those so-called nuclear weapons. They're at Lake and Heath. It's supposed to be at Lake and
Yeah.
Heath or something. No, was it Lake and Heath? No,
The
they were
Green
in
and Common
Southern.
thing.
Green and Common.
Yeah.
They weren't at Green and Common. Bloody Lake and Heath. Or, no, not
Yeah,
Lake and
exactly.
Heath. Where's that UFO sighted thing? Oh, crumbs.
Oh, I know what you mean. Was
Yeah.
it not Lake Heath?
Norfolk. No, was it? I don't know.
Not
I know
Mildenhall, was it?
Mildenhall. No, that's not Mildenhall. No, I think it's somewhere. Because I know that there's loads of people driving around American cars around there, because when the Americans left, it's too expensive to take their vehicles back, so they sold them off cheap. So loads of yank cars, yes. And now, elder trees look like cork. At the moment, have loads of jelly ear mushrooms
Oh, yeah.
on right now. Dehydrate, rehydrate in orange juice, cover in chocolate, medicinal, what's this? Diclovius chocolate
Delicious.
oranges. Delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah,
oranges.
they're a good
Sounds
edible
really
fungi.
good. I'd give it a go.
Yes. I'm always a bit worried about mushrooms, though, in case you pick a...
I would trust Barefoot Forager. I think she knows what she's doing.
I think she does.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, we're
And
talking about the
jelly
fairy
ears are
folk.
quite. They're a good one. They're a good identifiable one.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think horse mushrooms you've got to be careful of, because they're not so much poisonous. There's some of them that give you a jippy tummy. That's the only trouble if you pick the wrong type. But, yes, fairy folk, I've had experience with them, shadow beings, etc. This is Stephen Trueseeker. But that was on the Wirral Merseyside. But what do you expect at the Wirral Merseyside? They had a base there as well. What, the fairy folk? Or the MOD?
It's about time they took over.
Well, it
These
is, isn't it? They've
other-
been waiting. Yes.
See if they can do a better job than the lunatics running this world at the minute.
Well, I'll tell you something. I think there's the bad, the awful, and I mean, they're talking about going into Ukraine. We haven't got an army big enough to go to Ukraine. Oh, I don't get it. I just don't get it at all. And there was somebody talking on YouTube, and there's something I'm interested in, is whether now I work with an English bloke that was in Vietnam, but he was in the American army, so he was in Vietnam. But they reckon that there is a badge that they give out. There was English army personnel in Vietnam, but in the British Embassy to actually protect the staff at the British Embassy, and that's it. And that's a sort of a unique job. And the British Embassy remained open when it fell to the communists, because we weren't at war with them. So that must have been a bit dodgy, innit? If you nipped out around the corner to get fish and chips or something.
Yeah, there's one thing for sure, because the new tax year starts April the 1st. That's when all the military operational tasks will start, round about then. Oh, yeah. Well, everybody knows it's all a financial business arrangement.
Yeah.
So all these business arrangements tend to start when the new fiscal year starts.
Which is when the new year starts, really.
Yeah.
That's when the real new year starts.
Yeah. That lines
And they
up
like
then
to
with
start the new year off with a bang.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Which is why October would then be the 10th month rather than the 8th month rather than 10th. And December would be the 10th, not the 12th.
Well,
Did
you know we've got more admirals than ships? Seriously. This is the first time in history we've got more admirals than ships. Now, every August we go and fill up a basket with elderberries, this is Kingston Whitler, and then cook and bottle for colds, etc. It's higher in vitamin C than oranges. Tastes great too. I've tried planting cuttings in my allotment. What about strawberries? I'm going to grow strawberries this year. I've got some strawberry plants. I did have some strawberries, but silly so I didn't, because you've got to actually replant the runners, because the old strawberry plant is exhausted apparently. You've got to keep replanting it all the time. But I'm definitely going to grow my own, because it tastes so much better. That's the thing. And it's free. Yeah. Now, this is another interesting one. Haji, you can't beat the Abidas man for a visual proper Stone Age. Oh yes, that's the man with appendage, isn't it? Yes, I think you're talking about that, isn't it? The man on the hillside.
Oh, is that what? Yeah, is that what they call him?
Yeah,
The one with holding a
apparently
spear or something.
it was done in the British Civil War, and it was taking the mickey out of Cromwell. So I heard. It's not Stone Age, might not be. So that's the thing. Anyway, we're wrapping up time. So we didn't have a chance to do what we was going to do, but maybe next time. Thank you everyone for coming on tonight. Sorry, I can't read everybody's comments out. Hang on, Cern Abyss. That's it. 1700s. That's it. Cern Abyss. It's a
Don't
Cern
forget
Abyss
to tag the
man.
like.
Yeah. Oh, that's very good. Thanks, mate. Yeah. Tag and like. And whilst I'm waffling, I'm just queuing up the outro, which I've lost, which I always do. There it is. Now, thank you very much, everyone, for coming on. Thank you, everybody in chat. And have you got anything to say? You know, don't all stay out chat. Anything to say to the audience before you go?
Ladies first.
Okay, Vixen.
Thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you for coming on. It's much appreciated. And Steve or Hanorak.
Yeah, I'd like to wish Vixen good luck on the date in front. And thanks for having me on tonight.
And likewise for me, thank you to everyone in the chat and all our listeners for listening in and being part of the show. It's good. It's very important. And good luck, Vixen.
And this Sunday we've got who we got on? So well, we've got someone on. I can't find the bloody better part. Oh, here it is. Here it is. We have got a gentleman by the name of Trevor John. He's a musician, and he does tunes about, I don't know if you heard of him, apparently he's on YouTube. He does tunes about our dear leader and things like that, rather comical tunes. So I'm not sure he's going to be singing or anything like that, but he'll be on. He's got quite a bit to say. And next Monday, well, it's a surprise because I don't know who's coming on next Monday. So usually, probably the usual team would be here. Thank you very much for coming on here, and whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh, and good night. Thank you very much, and if you could kindly put your thumbs up, that would be very, very helpful. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. It really does, help a lot. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you could buy me a coffee. Details are down in the description box. And of course, there's a website, all the W's, FockhamHallRadio.com. That's long here. And why not pop into my Telegram channel? Again, details are in the description box. And also, you could also have a look at my Facebook page as well. That's also in the description box as well. Thank you very much, and good night, or